Greg Andrick here, bringing you the Business Freedom Conversation Newsletter number 20. So we've got a great newsletter for you here, some really interesting stories. The first one is a wealth tax coming? So the IRS has been assessing individuals, U.S. citizens, on their foreign holdings. And there's a clause in the 2017 Act that even if you didn't receive a distribution or sell the stock, if they had retained earnings, which is an unrealized gain, the IRS can tax it. And they've been doing that. And there's a case that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which tends to be the really super liberal one, they lost. So the taxpayer was assessed money, and then they lost in tax court, but it's going to the Supreme Court. And this case, if the Supreme Court hears it, has the possibility of unleashing taxes on your unrealized gains. So get ready for that one. Then the next one is the future of taxes. And it's showing you the demand that the government's going to need for taxes because of how much money they're borrowing. Then the next story that I've got is Jerome Powell has a dilemma because banks are sitting on $2.2 trillion worth of losses in their bond portfolios, and those losses are there because of the continual rise in interest rates. Remember, the last time we did this, 73 to 82, the Fed raised the interest rates more slowly, but because it was consistent, it kept driving the bond market down, and by about year 6, all these savings and loans started going out of business because their bond portfolios had lost so much money. Remember, interest rates go up, value of bonds goes down. Well, here we raised the rates 5 points in 1 year, and all these banks are teetering on insolvency because of the losses in their portfolios. So, and then the last story is Europe slides into a recession. Well, technically, we're in a recession too. So the only reason that the powers that be are not declaring it a recession, because we've had a total economic drop in total economic output for 2 quarters in a row. So has Europe, fourth quarter of last year, first quarter of this year. But because employment has gone up, they are not calling it a recession. But that isn't growth in employment, that's recovery of employment. Because of the pandemic and shutting down all these businesses and millions of people got laid off, this isn't natural job growth in the economy. This is really just bringing people back to work that they had pre-COVID. So it's interesting, but you'll take an interesting look at that story because it gives you some things to learn what you need to pick through to manage it. So anyhow, this is Greg Andrick. Enjoy this newsletter. I'll catch you on the next one.